Fremd bin ich eingesogen, fremd sieh ich wieder aus. Der Mai war mir gewogen mit manchem Blumenstrauß. Das Mädchen sprach von Liebe, die Mutter gar von ich. Nun ist die Welt so trübe, der Weg gehüllt in Schnee. Ich kann zu meiner Reisen nicht wählen mit der Zeit, muss selbst den Weg mir weisen in dieser Dunkelheit. Es sieht ein Mundenschatten als mein Gefährte mit, und auf den weißen Matten such ich des Wildes Tritt. Was soll ich länger weilen, dass man mich trieb hinaus? Lass ihre Hunde heulen vor ihres Herren Haus. Die Liebe liebt das Wandern, Gott hat sie so gemacht. Von einem zu den andern, mein Liebchen, gute Nacht. Will dich im Traum nicht stören, wer schad um deine Ruh? Sollst meinen Tritt nicht hören, sacht, sacht, die Türe zu. Schreib im Vorübergehen ans Tor die gute Nacht, damit du mögest sehen, an dich hab ich gedacht. A stranger I came, a stranger I depart. The month of May favoured me with many bouquets of flowers. The girl spoke of love, her mother of marriage even. And now the world so bleak, the road concealed in snow. I cannot choose the time for my journey. I must find my own way in this darkness. A shadow in the moonlight keeps me company, and on the white meadows I seek the tracks of the deer. Why should I wait any longer for them to drive me out? Let stray dogs howl before their master's house. Love loves to wander. God has made it so. From one to another, my sweetest love, good night. I'll not disturb your dreams, ashamed to spoil your rest. You shall not hear my footsteps as I softly close the door. I'll write good night on your gate as I pass, so that you may see I've thought of you. Tomorrow is the 31st of January, and therefore it will be Franz Schubert's 226th birthday. And so I've decided that this week, each day, I'm going to share with you one song from Franz Schubert and also one word in German. And where possible, when they come up, I will make connections between the poetry and the work of Franz Schubert's music and Japanese theatre and kabuki, or Japanese art. But for now I want to focus on the word of today, which is Lied, which in German simply means song. Although, as a lot of German words, and particularly German romantic words, is it never quite encapsulates that word. So even though Lied does translate literally as song, it's got a far deeper connection. It's sometimes described as art song, and I kind of think there are two very important elements to consider when thinking about what is Lieder, or what is Lied. Firstly, I see it as a synthesis of singing and accompaniment, which is usually in the form of piano accompaniment. So, that's one very important aspect, is that the singer and the pianist are really striving to work together as one entity almost, and so their connection is very important. The second very particular aspect of Lied is that very often the songs are set to lyrical poetry, and there is a plethora of romantic poets ranging from Goethe to Wilhelm Müller and a whole host of others who basically wrote very lyrical poems that in and of themselves were almost created for the purpose of singing. They were created to be sung. I love this word Lied, and I almost envisage the perfect expression of my future productions to be like Lieder, as opposed to plays or stagings or performances. I want them to have the element of musicality and imagination and expression, and also importantly intimacy. If you've ever been to a Lieder performance live, the experience is incredibly intimate. It's very naked. There's very little for the performers to hide behind. They're there on stage, and I find it very, very fascinating, particularly from an actor's point of view, to study and to learn about this art of Lieder performance. And Winterreise, I will finish by saying, which means winter journey, was one of the last pieces of music that Franz Schubert ever composed. He finished writing the proofs for it on his deathbed in 1828, when he died of syphilis at the age of 31. And Schubert composed over 600 Lieder over his lifetime. He was absolutely prolific in his output of Lieder. And he set 74 songs by Goethe, 45 by Wilhelm Müller, who was the poet behind Winterreise. And he also set 44 songs to the poems of Schiller. So that's a very important point that Schubert, I think, is absolutely most well known for his Lieder composition. And Winterreise tells the story. It's very ambiguous. Winterreise is a cycle of 24 songs that tells the story of a young man who wanders through a desolate winter landscape, and we don't quite know why. In the very first song, Gute Nacht, which I just read, Good Night, he says the very first lines, "A stranger I came, a stranger I depart." He's leaving somewhere. He's leaving a house. We're aware that there's been some kind of breakdown in a relationship. And he mentions the girl spoke of love, her mother of marriage. But there's no explanation for why he's what's happened for him to be so heartbroken and in such a state of disarray. And the rest of the cycle, the rest of the songs follow our young, distraught wanderer, and traces his journey and his visions and all of that. It's such a harrowing and titanic and incredibly deep and complex, beautiful work. And I'm in the process of trying to learn each song off by heart, because I really, really, really love this work and want to learn as much as I can about it. So I'll leave it there for today, and I'll leave you with the lead. I will link a recording of the song on my Patreon and in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And I look forward to sharing you my next song and German word tomorrow on Schubert's birthday. Until then, good night.